Hi and welcome to the Dice Cup. Today I'm going to show you how to play a game called Timeline. It's a quick game that takes between 2 to 8 players and takes about 15 minutes. Okay, this is Timeline, set up for 4 players. You've got 4 players, each get 3 cards. You can start with 4 or 5 if you want a longer and tougher game. And you're going to get 1 card in the middle in what's going to be your timeline. Each card is double-sided and the card in the middle is going to be the first man in space. The card in the middle has the first man in space on one side, and on the reverse it will have the date that that particular event happened. So you reverse the middle card over. I'm going to try and do it in such a way that I don't spoil a lot of the cards. I'm going to have to show you a few to see how it's played. And the first man in space you'd reveal over was 1961. So you might know that, you might not, but that one doesn't matter. That's going to be the start of our timeline. Our timeline is going to go in this row here. You're going to take it in turns, and when it's your turn you're going to pick one of your 3 cards and you're going to try and place it in the timeline where you think it might go. So again, I might go the Invention of Hip Hop. I think I might know that one. I think that was after 1961. What I would do, I would take the Invention of Hip Hop and place it where I think it would go in the timeline, with earlier going this side and later going this side. I then turn it over to see what the date actually was, and in this case it was in the 70s, it was 1974. The next player has 3 cards again, but the next player has more places to go in their timeline. The next player can try and go before 1961, in the middle of 61 to 74, or after 1974. If you will get 1974 exactly, say you've got another card that says 1974, you can place it either side, so you've got a bit of advantage there. The next person might say the Invention of the playing card, and they might go, that must be before the 60s, and they would reveal it over. Let's say that this player didn't have a clue when the playing card was invented and placed it in an incorrect space, so it is actually 900 AD. If they put it there, it would stay down, the next person would have a go. But if this person, player 2, was wrong and they put it there and it isn't 900, they would discard that card and take another one off the draw deck, so they still have 3 cards. The person who first gets rid of all their cards is the winner, but it's equal player turns. So if, for example, this person got rid of 1, and this person got rid of 1, and this person got rid of 1, and this person got rid of 1, he's had 3 goes, this person's only had 2, he would get 1 more shot to get that out, and if he got it out, you'd play sudden death between anyone who's tied. I don't want to sit here and spoiling any of the other dates for you, but what I will do is just show you a couple of the cards that are in each set. There are at least 5 sets of Timeline that are out published. I only own 5, so there may be more, I'm not quite sure. But Timeline, the one we've been looking at, is the General Interest set. The General Interest set has a bit of everything. You've got things like the Invention of Cornflakes, the 4 Seasons, I believe that was Vivaldi, the Invention of the Playing Die, the Invention of the Croissant, the Invention of the Electric Razors. So you can see there's a lot of inventions here, or just certain dates that things might happen in. You've got the Invention of the Parchment, the first 45 RPM record, and so on. So the General Interest one is a mix of everything. I'm going to show you the other sets. If we move these out of the way, some of the other sets you can have are, you can have the Historical Event set, and in that set you get things like the Salem Witch Trials, or the Great Fire of London, or the first crossing the Channel by a hot air balloon. You also have Science and Discoveries, so again it's a bit samey, but Science and Discoveries are more about not necessarily inventing things, but finding things out. So the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, the discovery of bacteria, and the discovery of the potato by Europeans. You have, and again this is a love it or hate it round, you have music and cinema, probably the one I'm the least proficient at, but I still know a lot of the categories. And music and cinema has things like Elvis Presley's Love Me Tender, Britney Spears' Baby One More Time, and the film The Godfather. The music in here can go all the way back to places like Beethoven and Mozart, and there are music and films of all genres. The last set is the Invention. So it's slightly similar to the Discovery ones, but that's not necessarily finding things out, but inventing things. And these are literally just everything humans have invented. Not everything, obviously, but a lot of the things humans have invented, but a lot of the ones you might not necessarily know. So the invention of the toothpaste tube, the invention of the friction match, and the invention of the bicycle. So I might know that one, but the other two I wouldn't have a clue on. I think that was late 1800s, but I'd be guessing. I don't want to show you any of the answers. And that, my friends, is Timeline. And that's Timeline. It is a game that gets significantly tougher the more turns that are played. For example, when 6 people or 6 cards have been put to the middle, you've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gaps that another of your cards can be. The aim is generally to try and get rid of the cards you don't know early, because if you don't know them and you've got this many guesses, you're likely to get it wrong if you leave it late. When you've played the game a lot, you can start mixing the sets up. I've not got to the point where I need to do that yet, but for example, if someone's very strong at music and cinema and someone's very strong at historical events, you might mix those two decks together so that you get a fairer game. Also, people with good memories, you're going to have to start mixing them in so that they don't start remembering answers that they've come up before. That's Timeline, plays 2 to 8 players, 15 minutes. I've been Steve from the Dice Cup. Thank you very much.